For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kyle. I hope you're well on this Monday the 7th of December 2020. As we draw closer to Christmas, I think it's only common that we think a wee bit more about the birth of Jesus. I've had the real blessing and privilege of growing up in a Christian home, and one of the many blessings that brought was my familiarity of being read the Bible and taught the Bible from a very young age. And one of the most notable stories, obviously, in the Bible is the birth of Jesus. However, in more recent years, as I went through university and on into working life, I found that the familiarity I have with the Christmas story often leads me into overlooking it and being distracted with other messages over Christmas that actually skew the real Christmas message. Recently, I've been reading John with a number of friends, which has been really a huge encouragement over this time where contact has been really limited. We had read John 1 a few months ago, and as I've been thinking more about the build up to Christmas, the message in John 1 verses 14 to 18 has come to mind. And I'm just going to read it for you now. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen his glory, glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth. John bore witness about him and cried out, "This was he of whom I said, he who comes after me ranks before me, because he was before me. For from his fullness we have received grace upon grace. For the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God, the only God who is at the Father's side. He has made him known." After studying these verses with my friends and now coming back to them more recently, it's helped me really think a bit more about the Christmas message this year. An obvious initial point is that if I actually go to my Bible and read the messages and verses that are there around the Christmas message, I will never get tired of hearing it. Verses 14 to 18 in John 1 highlight the most amazing event in all of history. The eternal and infinitely holy Son of God took on a human nature, lived among humanity, who was both God and man at the same time. Also, when doing our study, we found in verse 14 that the term "dwelt among us" translates in Greek to "pitched his tent," which alludes to God's dwelling among the Israelites through the tabernacle in the Old Testament. And I found this parallel between the Old Testament and these verses really amazing. And reflecting on these verses further, I was reminded of why Jesus had to come, so that I and all others who believe in him could be saved. As I thought about this, I thought more about why I don't always get excited about the Christmas message. And it's because so often I've forgot my actual starting point with God. It confronts us all with the fact that we need to be saved from our broken state. War, both in our world and in our hearts, will never be over unless God acts. And thankfully he has through Jesus. So often I forget that I really need to be saved. And therefore when I approach the Christmas story, I take away its value and significance, that Christ actually came to save me. So with all these thoughts in mind, I wanted to share 3 points, just to remind myself and hopefully others of the Christmas message through Jesus. So firstly, Jesus has come to save us from God's wrath that has been righteously placed upon us. Secondly, Jesus cleanses us from the sins that constantly occur in our life, time and time again. And thirdly, Jesus is the only access to open up a full joy in our Maker that we can have for eternity. Knowing these things does not guarantee that our life on earth will be better or easier, or even that our Christmas time will be better or easier, but the guarantee that we can have in this unpredictable world that we live in is the comfort that our eternity is secured through Jesus, our Saviour.